Hello everybody, it's Tory from Ireland. Thank you for coming back to my channel. This video is about the future of the Conservative Party. Does it have one? The putative future of the Conservative and Unionist Party. Well, what a drubbing in the local elections. The Conservative Party reduced to, was it 15% of the vote? If you were to take this and then project it onto the whole United Kingdom. Now, that's a very inexact science, considering it was held in only a few English counties, not at all in Northern Ireland, Wales, or Scotland. But you also got to bear in mind there's about 30% turnout in local elections, whereas 65% in a general election typically. But then again, the Conservatives are quite good at turnout. So you think on a national scale, it would be actually worse than it is, better for Labour than this was. And Reform UK did very, very well. So the muttering about Kemi Badenoch's leadership has come to be, more than just noises off. It's actually been in the press. Will she be ousted by Robert Jenrick? And she says, this is nonsense. She won't be. Well, I'm fairly confident she won't lead the Conservative Party to the next general election. And that's 3 years away, maybe 4 years away. She'd have so out for quite a long time. She's in the same position that William Hague was in the late 90s, someone who became leader of the Conservative Party after a massive defeat. Um, I mean, remember we heard it first. Whoever won that leadership contest last year to take over the helm of the Tory party will never be prime minister. Getting back into office with the Tories was at least a two-term project. Three or even four, who knows, even five, could be a real possibility. So, the Conservatives getting back into government, it's not going to be for 10 years. I think more like 20. And it's obviously not guaranteed. It's got no God-given right to be one of the great parties of state. And Reform UK is a greater threat than anyone realised. But then again, one swallow does not a summer make. Reform UK is the renamed Brexit Party, which took almost everything from the United Kingdom Independence Party. Was it 2009? The UK Independence Party won the local the European elections. Still went on to get was it no seats in 2010 at the general election? Did very well in the 2014 European elections. Again, got was it one seat in the 2015 election, and so on. Uh, Although Reform UK is doing a bit better than the UK Independence Party did, even at its zenith. I think the idea they're going to break through is a bit overstated. Got 5 MPs, might get 20 next time if they're really lucky. I don't think they're going to be the governing party, because even the best projection, they would have, you know, like 200 seats. Now that's a lot, but that's well short of what they need to govern, like 326. And I don't see any other party collaborating with them. The other thing is, would the Conservative Party form some sort of pact, agree not to stand against a sitting Reform UK candidate MP, whereas the Reform UK might agree not to stand against Conservatives in sensitive seats and blah blah blah. Just a bit like what the Brexit Party did, the Conservative Party in 2019. Even though the Conservative Party didn't make an agreement with them, this Brexit Party unilaterally chose not to stand against particularly Eurosceptic Conservative MPs to maximise the number of Eurosceptics elected to Parliament, and well, that worked. It was a small contributory factor to Boris Johnson's resounding victory in 2024. But because Kemi Badenoch is doing so badly, there's talk is, would Johnson even come back? I mean, if not her, then who? Robert Jenrick, her runner-up, well, he's the obvious answer. But Ken Badenoch has at least got some conviviality. Politics aside, she's somewhat relatable. She's personable. So I warm to her somewhat. You know, uh, would she be a friend of mine? Not really, but I certainly wouldn't dislike her. Wouldn't mind socializing with her. Jenrick, I think, rubs people up the wrong way. Comes across as harsh, mean-spirited, spiteful, a control freak. Is always a cheerleader for the mass murder of Palestinian civilians. And Kemi Badenoch is also bad in the score. In fact, just about every Conservative MP is bad in the score. There have been a few who've been daring enough to put their heads above the parapets very belatedly. I mean, extremely cowardly. Can't give them too much credit for it. And finally saying we ought to recognise Palestine, thing which is decades overdue. But they'll probably be deselected. They'll be just hounded out because anyone who questions the Zionist narrative is to be annihilated in the Conservative Party. So you can be a Zionist, you can be an anti-Zionist, you say what you believe, Fine, I accept Israel's right to exist. I also accept Palestine's right to exist. I want freedom for Palestine. It's definitely not free when it's under illegal occupation. And I don't want Israelis to be harmed either. Anyway, so would Johnson even come back? Well, he's not even an MP, and say, well, if he was leader, then he'd be better than they are doing now. And the problems go much further than one individual. This is changing deck chairs in the Titanic. You would get rid of Kemi Badenoch, you put in Robert Jenrick, it might even be worse. If it's better at all, it'd be marginally. Who else is there? Who came third? James Cleverly. I'm not sure he'd think improve things much at all. And people don't want to see this game of musical chairs in the Conservative Party of annual leadership contests, even if you don't get the person out. So the muttering has started way too early. I know she faced a mammoth task, but she's had no impact. She's actually made it worse. What is the solution? I don't know. That's her job, not mine, to come up with that. She's supposed to be the leader. But Johnson coming back, I think, would be disastrous, even though, okay, he's got name recognition, but he is yesterday's man. Let's not forget, he was forced out by his own cabinet, people he handpicked for their loyalty to him. Even they found him so unacceptable that they brought him down, led by Rishi Sunak, for his dishonesty, for lying about when he did the Chris Pincher affair. But it went much deeper about that, the lying and lying and lying about breaking lockdown with his birthday parties and stuff like that. So his incompetence, his dishonesty, his mendacity, his Trumpism means that he would just be a vile choice. No, he's wrought so much harm to the Conservative Party. He's the one who loosened the immigration rules. That's a massive headache to the party. For the party, it's going to take a very long time to live that one down. I mean, he's 65. Sorry, 61. I don't really count age against him. We've moved to a younger generation now. I mean, I wouldn't mind a prime minister in his 80s, or Biden was president in his 80s. Look, Gladstone was prime minister at the age of 85. And in the 19th century, 85 was like being 115 today. But no, Johnson is out. He is disgraced. You'd have to get him a safe seat to be elected in, and that was easier said than done to get him selected. And then he's toxic for many people. And yes, I know he's a bit more popular than Kevin Badenoch, partly because he's known at least. But I think the cheeky chappy Johnson, the lovable buffoon, I think that act has worn thin, and he's had not much to joke about or smile about recently. So not hearing very much for him. So I think that would not going to happen. But it's a sign of the dire straits the Conservative Party is in that they would even consider that one. That is desperation speaking for you. So I don't know what the solution is. Obviously, Labour is the gift that keeps on giving. They screwed up so much. They're so unpopular. It should be easy. There's a lot of very big attackable surface, and it's not happening. And even if people are disenchanted and indeed angry with Labour, that certainly doesn't automatically translate into voting for the Conservative Party, who they often think is even worse, has let them down so badly over so many years. Which is why Reform UK is doing well. Surprised the Liberal Democrats aren't doing better. The Greens, partly because they say Labour's crashing the economy with all their so-called development plans and all their connivance in attacks on Gazan civilians. So I don't think Johnson's going to come back. Does he even want to? But he doesn't have the courage of his convictions. He bottled it. Remember when he stood down in 2022, he thought we'd talk about coming back. Not even 2 months later, when Liz Truss had fouled her nest in record time. But he wasn't brave enough to even release a public statement. He didn't, or let alone fly back into the United Kingdom, and it didn't happen. Had he gone in all guns blazing, he might, just might, have made it. So yeah, he's not doubling down enough, but pursuing other projects. They have to pass the baton to somebody else, even if not someone particularly young. Um, so yeah, Kemi Badenoch would have to majorly improve. If she screws up badly next May, as is likely, then I think she's out. And do better than last time, it'd be virtually impossible to do worse. Had to be significantly better. Okay, she doesn't have to win the local elections, but has to lose them not too badly. But you look at the 2019 European elections, the Conservative Party did very badly in that one, but still went on to win the general election that December, only 6 months later. Yeah, or Labour did very badly in the 2021 local elections, but they still won the general election in 2024 by a long, long way. So these things can change, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. As I say, there's no narrative. People are pressuring Ken Badenoch to solidify the policies, but it would be very rash to do so far out from the general election. That is the luxury of opposition. You might as well enjoy it whilst you can. One of the few advantages, you don't have to formulate precise policies. There's a lot of attackable surface area, so concentrate on that for a while. Right, thank you for watching my channel. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate to PayPal, georgecallan792.com. Goodbye.